interpretation of the phrase, "You wise men, be careful with your words." He says this means that we should be preoccupied with our own Jewish teachings. Concern yourself primarily with the indigenous traditions of the Torah. And he goes on to have a go at rabbis. Too many of our rabbis, in an effort to give their preaching a modern or topical flavor, attempt to validate the thinking of Judaism by showing them that it is essentially Platonic or from Spinozistic, from Spinoza, or scientific, etc. In general, there's been a tendency on the part of the American rabbi to turn his pulpit into a dispensary of general culture. Jews don't have to come to synagogue to learn about Zen Buddhism or to hear views of current books and plays. You wise men, says the Shmaya and Avtalion, be concerned with your own matters. Teach the Torah, clarify its principles, espouse its laws, demonstrate the beauty of its ethics, and should you wander off into foreign fields, you may indeed drive your disciples to the place of evil waters. Your own emphasis on general culture may lead your congregation to believe that it stands higher than Torah. You wise men, concentrate on your own learning. Well, this is a paragraph with which I only partially agree, because certainly in the context of our sorts of congregations, if we were to make no reference at all to wider matters of a public interest that arise in society around us, or some of the issues of the day, or if we don't bring into a conversation some of the issues in cultural issues which arise from time to time in books or in plays, etc., we would simply fail to understand the nature of our communities, who are, I believe, looking for an interface between Torah values and the world around. Not to say that we are trying to equate the one with the other, to say that they are both the same, but that we're looking to some way in which the Torah can inform and give insight into our lives in the cultural context and social context within which we live. And therefore, a degree of awareness and knowledge and an ability to address some of the philosophical issues or the cultural issues or the value issues, I think is, to my mind, part of the role of the modern rabbi. And if it were only a question of teaching Torah, etc., I think we'd discover that our sorts of communities would very quickly be slightly disillusioned, and they'd be turning somewhere else for somebody who they would consider to be a bit broader and a bit more, in inverted commas, educated in a broader sense. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's, I think, the way in which we operate. So that's just a thought about you rabbis. Be careful with your words. Yes, your words have to always originate from Torah, but they can be broad enough to be able to embrace other words as well, in my view.